Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, and Lancaster Fairfield Community Action Recycling and Litter Prevention.
Welcome to the Summer Sports Edition of Fairfield Today. My name is John Bosser. I'm the host of the program, and I am the Community Outreach Coordinator at the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities. And today we're going to talk about a couple of wonderful sports opportunities for children with disabilities, as well as our second Bowling with Buckeyes program. My guests today are Rachel Behrens. Rachel is in the midst of planning her third adaptive tennis camp, and Cody Sarenson. Cody is the camp coordinator for the No Limits basketball camp. Guys, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having us.
Both of you are students at Ohio University. Rachel, you're about to start your junior year next year at Athens, and Cody, you decided to stay close to home. You're starting your junior year or sophomore
senior year.
Senior year.
Yeah, senior year. Yeah.
Old guy. And you're at OUL,
Yes.
OU Lancaster. You guys both were very involved with special needs kids when you were in high school, and continue to be. And Cody, we'll talk to you here in a few minutes. But Rachel, let's kind of focus on you and on the tennis clinic first. Sure. I'll throw the dates out now because we'll come back later, but people may want to write these down.
Right.
It's going to be on Saturday mornings, starting June 23rd and 30th, and then take a break, and then July 7th and 14th, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And all of your clinic will be here at the Rod Ashita Tennis Center at Lancaster High School, right off Arbor Valley Drive. And your clinic is run through Lancaster City Parks and Recreation.
Yes.
Okay. First, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became interested in working with kids with special needs, and what your major is in college and things like that.
Sure. Well, my name is Rachel Behrens, as you heard. I'm a sophomore right now at Ohio University studying special education. And the reason that I got into this field was my little sister Lauren. She has Down syndrome, and that kid is just such an inspiration for me every day. I absolutely love being around her and working with kids with special needs, and so that's what got me into this field in the first place. And with this camp, it was pretty funny. I was working in the MD room my senior year of high school, and Tammy Tolley and I are both big tennis enthusiasts. And we just kind of looked at each other one day and we realized we have the people, we have the resources, we have the campers, so why wouldn't we start something like this? So that's kind of how the whole idea got started.
Who were some of the, I mean, not specific people, but give me some of the ages and some of the types of kids that you worked with that first year.
Sure. The camp serves anyone from ages 5 to 22. And we have all ranges of disabilities. We have kids in wheelchairs, we have kids with autism, Downs, just kind of all across the spectrum of special needs. And let me tell you, it is so cool to see especially the kids in the wheelchairs playing tennis. We usually have about 2 or 3 volunteers with each of them. And just to see their faces light up when they're able to play tennis is truly amazing.
Yeah.
It is so much fun.
Now, you played tennis in high school. You've really played tennis all your life.
And I play on the club team at OU as well.
Okay, great, great. As far as tennis as a sport for kids with disabilities, talk a little bit about that.
Okay, well, tennis as a sport in general is really special because you need yourself, a buddy, a racket, and a can of tennis balls, and you are good to go. And I think that's really what makes this unique, especially for kids with disabilities, because you know, they don't need a whole lot of resources to go out and do this. They're able to take themselves out to the courts with a friend and play a game of tennis. And even throughout your whole life, it's something that you can continue with.
And here in Lancaster, there are courts at different parts of the city. We got the courts here near Lancaster High School, Rising Park, the park over by Talmadge,
Mayor Park,
which were just recently refurbished, correct?
I saw that. They look so good, yeah.
Good. So, I mean, anybody can go, and even if you have a wall to hit against, if just to practice your strokes, you're good to go.
You're still playing tennis, exactly.
Okay. Well, great. So that was the original idea. You and Tammy kind of thought of it together, and Tammy helped you the first year, but you kind of were on your own last year because Tammy retired.
Oh,
correct?
not at all, actually.
Well, not on your own, but I mean, Tammy wasn't involved last year,
Right.
the whole idea is kind of living on through you.
I should mention too, though, that first year after Tammy and I talked that first day, I'm pretty sure I went home that first night and I made a phone call to Gary Elick, who
Right.
is very involved in the tennis programs in Lancaster, and he is just an amazing guy, and he was all for it, and he's been actively involved through every single year. And also Steve Conrad over at Parks and Rec was another one that I contacted within the first couple days of that idea. So all of us together, plus a whole force of volunteers that are just wonderful.
Yeah, you had a lot of former players and friends
Exactly.
from both Lancaster and Fisher Catholic, because you started your academic career in the parochial system and then kind of finished up here at Lancaster High School.
And this summer we can look forward to people from OU Athens as well who are in the special education field. So we're kind of growing every year in that respect as well.
Wonderful. How did the parents embrace this idea for their kids?
Oh my gosh, the parents are just thrilled. They are absolutely thrilled because here in Lancaster we have a really strong tennis community that's open to a lot of different people, and we go out and hit and we have a great time. But there's a part of the population that is missing from that network, and that is kids with special needs. And so this program is really open to help them be a part of that community as well. And I've had a lot of parents express that to me, that they are just so happy that there's a program available for their kids, because during the summertime there really isn't a whole lot of options. So.
Okay. Well, I found out about it after the fact the first year, and you submitted a photo to me, and I put it in our newsletter for Fairfield DD. But last year I came down and took some pictures myself and saw how much fun the kids were having. They were having a blast.
So much fun, yeah.
And you have everything from absolute beginners that have never had a racket in their hands before to kids that have been playing for a few years. Your sister's been playing for quite a while because you played with her
right.
since she was young. So you have a lot of varying degrees of ability.
We do, yeah.
But the one common thing is they're all having a blast.
They're all having a blast, and for all those different ability levels too, we really try to accommodate everyone. And if, for example, they can't hit a regular tennis ball, we have special balls in the shed that don't bounce as high and they're a little bit slower. And last year we even brought out beach balls just for kids maybe with difficulty with hand-eye coordination. So we try to make accommodations for everyone.
Okay. Well, listen, we're going to break up this segment here in a couple seconds, but in the meantime, give us an idea of how people can get more information, how they can sign up, those kind of things.
Sure. We have
and the cost, of course, too.
And the cost. The cost is $15. The flyers look like this, except they're green, and they can be picked up at either the Lancaster Parks and Recreation Office or the Lancaster YMCA if your child hasn't already received one through their teacher at school. And I really hope to see a lot of new people, a lot of new faces out this year. It's a ton of fun, and it's a really wonderful program, and we want to keep it going.
Okay. One more time with the dates, please, and the times. And, and tell us how you have it broken up age groups, too.
Sure. Okay. The dates and times are, as Mr. Bosser said, Saturday morning starting June 23rd. And returning parents will notice a change this year. Aside from it being on Saturday mornings, we also have all of the 5 through 22. We have them in one time slot. But I want to assure you that your 5-year-old child will not be on the same court at the same time as a 22-year-old. We're going to break those up. And since we have everyone's email and phone number, we're also going to make sure to contact people if we need to make accommodations beforehand. We're kind of just going to see how it goes the first day of camp and break it up accordingly.
Well, great. Well, Rach, I want you to stick around because whenever we're through talking here, I would like you to maybe give Cody and I a couple of lessons and see how bad we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have any experience playing tennis?
Not what? Oh.
Oh, this will be fun.
I played many years ago and then had a shoulder injury and gave it up, and now I do almost nothing. So all I do is sit around and get old. But we're going to take a break now. When we come back, we're going to talk to Cody Sorensen about the Northern Miss basketball camp.
In 1977, in Johannesburg, South Africa, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. By the age of 9, he was already out playing it. The odds of this gentle lad winning the Junior World Golf Championships at the age of 14, 1 in 16 million. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the Open Championship once and the US Open Championship twice, 1 in 780 million. The odds of this professional golfer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. My name is John Bosser. I am the Community Outreach Coordinator at the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities. And we're talking here today at the Radashida Tennis Center at Lancaster High School about an adaptive tennis camp. And now we're going to talk about the No Limits basketball camp with Cody Sorensen. And Cody and Rachel are both Lancaster High School graduates. And they, as I said earlier in the first part of the show, that they both worked extensively with students with disabilities when they were in high school. And Cody, that's kind of what got you interested as well in this as a field, correct?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that, and I know you're very proud that some of the kids that you worked with a couple years ago are graduating this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk a little bit about your buddy Jedediah.
Oh, I could talk about him for days. Well, my senior year, I was trying to figure out what it is I wanted to do in college when I got there, and I was just thinking of different ideas. I was thinking about going into nursing, education, of course, and whatnot. So I just knew I really wanted to help people. And then Luke Truex, the MD teacher as of now, and then the new Lancaster boys basketball coach as of recently, was our junior varsity coach at the time, and I asked him if I could come in and volunteer in the MD classroom. And he said absolutely. So I just wanted to see what it was like. I always, had a good experience with individuals with disabilities. So I went in there that whole year, and I loved every minute of it. And that's what kind of sparked my interest and wanting to continue to work with individuals with developmental disabilities, and with Jedediah, especially, as you mentioned, that a lot of those kids that well, not really kids, they're my age, but a lot of those individuals that I was working with in the classroom are graduating this year, like you said, and I am so thrilled. I've been to a lot of their graduation parties and whatnot, and it's just been a great time.
As far as I'm concerned, you guys are all kids. So.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah.
And Jedediah also, I believe, has been involved in tennis camp in the past, hasn't he?
Yep.
Great, and of course Jedediah Strawn and Chance Pignon.
Yeah.
Two of the most popular kids in the student body at Lancaster High School.
Absolutely.
And then your buddy from a couple years ago, Derek Up, is also part of your camp as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So you guys kind of got together.
Yeah.
And you've changed your major a couple times, but you're still kind of really interested in working with people with disabilities.
Yes. Yeah.
And you had this idea for this basketball camp. Tell us about that.
Well, I had the camp idea going into my junior year of college here at Ohio University Lancaster, and I actually came to meet with you to talk about it. And we thought of the idea, it was either late April or early May, about having a basketball camp, because I knew not many kids had the opportunity to be part of a camp function, especially with basketball. And I know we have a great program here in Fairfield County with the Special Olympics basketball team. They've done wonderful things over there, and with Dave Maciosi and Tammy Gardner over there, and I just knew there wasn't like a usual typical basketball camp you hear about every day. So I came and met with you and some others about it, and we thought we should go for it. We were rushing against time, and I believe we had the camp in late June last year, but I mean, it was a great time and it was a huge success. The camp is at Ohio University Lancaster. Yes. Indoors, air conditioned. Air conditioned, yeah. So I mean, a lot of kids with disabilities sometimes have issues with overheating. So that was really nice to be able to accommodate them. Yeah. Derek, who uses a wheelchair and plays a lot of wheelchair sports, organized a group of kids just for wheelchair athletes. So, and you've kind of separated them a little bit this year. So that you have a couple of different sessions going on. Tell us about how this year's camp
is a little different from last year's?
Last year's camp we did 4 days, and I believe they were 2.5 hours each day in the evening in the month of June, and we had ages 9 to 21 plus athletes that are in wheelchairs at the camp. So it was a packed house.
How many
4
did we have
days.
last year?
We had about 60 campers register last year, which was astonishing, and I would not expect 60. But this year I would expect 60 or a little bit more. And it was packed last year. We had a lot of fun. We were able to organize it well. But this year I decided just to make it easier on ourselves and the staff that we would break it up into 2 sessions, go ages 9 to 12 in the first session in the evening, and then the second session would be 13 to 21 plus the wheelchair athletes, just trying to think of our numbers last year and what age numbers were grouped more and whatnot. So.
And that'll free up court space for you,
Yes.
because last year things were a little bit cramped out there.
Yeah.
And just as Rachel said earlier, the parents just absolutely love this camp.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they seemed real receptive about it. I got a lot of great compliments about it, which was good for me to hear, knowing that I'm doing the right thing and setting this up the right way, and the kids, you know, were enjoying it, which is
And you
all
got some
about.
good constructive criticism as well. And one of the reasons that you're kind of separating things out is that some of the younger kids were a little bit intimidated with the wheelchairs flying around.
Yeah.
Because when you think about a kid playing basketball in a wheelchair, you may think it's just, you know, dribbling and very slow, moving around. These kids,
They fly.
they are competitive.
Yeah.
They can play. They can handle the ball. They pass. They fly around. So it's really kind of a neat experience for everyone involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
You had Coach Greathouse come out and speak last year.
Yep.
And he really kind of inspired the kids to do a lot. And
Yes.
And we have a lot of kids I know that are already coming back. I'm handling the registrations for those. And as they come in, I'm recognizing mostly familiar names from last year.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the specifics of the camp, the dates again, the times,
Yep.
and where people can get more information.
Yeah. Camp this year will be July
9th, 10th,
9th,
11th.
10th, and 11th. I'm sorry. 9th, 10th, and 11th. The first session is 5 to 6:30 for ages 9 to 12, and then the second session is 6:45 to 8:15 for 13 and above, plus the wheelchair athletes. And new this year, I forgot to mention, is we're going to have interpreters for athletes who are deaf.
Okay, great.
So if we do have any athletes who are deaf, we will have interpreters for them this year. And the camp format and structure is just from last year. We'll do a lot of stretching. That way they're ready to go when we get going with the drills, and we'll have different basketball drills, whether it's offensively or defensively, working on the fundamentals of the game. And we'll do some team exercises and some competitive drills so they can get more enthused and be able to win some prizes.
And you really kind of, just as Rachel does, I'm sure, keep it to the level of the kid.
Yes.
If you have someone who is a pretty accomplished basketball player, they'll be grouped with other basketball players who have played for many years.
Yes.
If you have beginners, they'll be kind of grouped with beginners. So, you know, you'll be able to adapt to whatever the needs are of
absolutely.
your campers.
Yeah.
Great. And how do people get brochures? I know we have them at our offices.
Yeah, I passed out brochures all throughout Lancaster City Schools, and whether some Bloom Carroll District and Fairfield Union and Rushville and all those and Pickerington. So I've been passing them out around. I know there's a brief in the newspapers on the Eagle Gazette that has a little information about it and whatnot, and then just from other times I've talked with others about it through the air and television and radio. So.
Okay. And if anybody has any questions, they can certainly contact me at our offices. That's the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and our phone number is 740-652-7220. And I'd be happy to either mail to you or fax or email a copy of the brochure or more information for either of these two programs. Well, thanks, guys. I'm going to talk a little bit about bowling with Buckeyes, and then you may want to stretch because we're going to get you hitting a tennis ball here.
All right, we'll see.
And don't you laugh, because we're going to get you playing with the basketball. As I said earlier, I do want to talk a little about bowling with Buckeyes. We had the last one in 2009. Jimmy Cordell at the time was a senior at Ohio, at Ohio State. Listen, I sound like Brady Hoke calling it Ohio. I'm sure I'll get admonished at the next Cordell Cares Foundation board meeting for that. But since then, Jimmy has gone on to play for the New York Giants, and this past year has his Super Bowl ring. I've seen pictures of it, and it's going to be available here on June 30th at our Bowling with Buckeyes event. All the lanes are sold out, so I can't tell you to to go anywhere and register for a lane, but we will allow people to come in to watch and meet and greet with the Buckeyes. There will be a $5 admission charge. Again, that's June 30th at Tiki Lanes. There will be a silent auction that'll start at 4 o'clock and a meet and greet. You'll be able to talk to some of the athletes. And then from 6 to 8, there'll be bowling. We have it set up that each of the lane sponsors have teams of 4. They'll be paired with a Buckeye, either a former Buckeye who's playing in the NFL right now or may have played in the NFL. I know Jimmy's going to be there. Jake Ballard, who's the tight end for the Super Bowl Giants. Ryan Miller, who played several years ago and was a media personality in the Columbus area, is going to be there. J.B. Shugarts, Mike Adams, Todd Beckman, former quarterback. And they'll also be bowling with Special Olympians. I should have mentioned right from the get-go that this program benefits our Fairfield DD Special Olympics program, and in 2009 raised almost $18,000 to help fund those programs, and we've put the money to great use. We've started an equestrian program with our Special Olympians. We've started swimming. We're talking this summer about a unified softball program. So we sent a lot of athletes to state competition, especially in that equestrian program. So we're real excited about that. Again, the admission fee is going to be $5. Children under 12 are free. And if you'd like to get some more information about Bowling with Buckeyes or either of these two adaptive sports projects, please give me a call at 740-652-7220. And now we're going to step over to the tennis court and turn it into a basketball court as well. So we're going to see if Rachel can teach us anything, maybe a forehand. I know when I played, my backhand was horrible, so I could probably use some tips. And then Cody, maybe you can show us a couple of basketball drills as well. All right, we're going to see you on the tennis court here in a few minutes.
What gets you moving?
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
You'll have more energy to do the things you like to do.
And that's a slam dunk.
Whether you like to shoot hoops,
Nice shot.
or ride your bike,
Kick the soccer ball around.
pop an ollie on your board, play frisbee in the park.
Or just have fun with your friends.
moving every day puts you on the offense.
Towards a stronger you.
And that makes you part of a winning team.
So be a player.
Be a player.
Because getting active for at least an hour a day fuels your body and your mind.
And that helps you keep your eye on the ball.
Be a player.
Move it your way and be a player.
Get up, play, and move it your way.
Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
That's www.letsmove.gov.
All right, now we're going to see if Cody and I can embarrass ourselves. Rachel's going to kind of run us through a couple of drills. She says the first thing that they always try to do is try to do shadowing, so she's going to show us how to do a proper forehand.
Yep, and we kind of scaffold it the same way that you would in a classroom. We start out by showing the kids how to do it, and first of all, we don't do anything with balls because that could be dangerous, so yes, put that down. All right, so first of all, we're going to start out like we're shaking hands with the racket, so shake hands. And we're going to start out.
Yeah, where am I going?
Yeah, come on up. Okay, and we're going to start in our ready position, which is with your right hand on the bottom, left hand on top.
Okay.
Knees bent, ready to go.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to turn.
Balls to your feet.
There we go, and it helps if you keep your left hand out kind of for balance.
Okay.
And then we're going to swing low to high and finish up high.
Okay.
There we go.
That's
You ready
easy
to
enough.
try it?
That didn't hurt.
No,
Did it hurt you?
No, not yet.
Here we go.
Okay.
All right.
And I'm just going to hit it.
You're going to drop and hit. And remember, when you're doing that, the key things are to swing low to high.
Okay.
And so when you're following through, if you catch it with your other hand, that can be helpful as well.
All right.
Hit the camera
Let's
guy.
see. Oh, I didn't catch with my other hand.
That's all right, yeah.
And I didn't get it
Try
on
it
the net
again.
either. Get a
You
little
got
harder?
it this time. A little bit harder.
There we go.
Go.
That was a winner.
That even had some topspin on
There
it.
you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Cody,
your turn.
you wanna give it a try?
All right, I'll give
Go
it a
ahead and
wing.
grab a ball.
Do I got to bounce it on the ground or just
You can
toss
do it whichever way you're most comfortable with.
Touch them all,
That
Cody.
looks
That's a home
like
run, buddy.
two-handed forehand. You
Go
want to try it
again? All right,
again?
we'll try it again.
Only if you want to, yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll bounce it this time.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right.
Good start.
That is perfectly okay. And remember, we're going to swing low to high, just like that, and catch it nice up high.
That was out.
That was out.
Yeah,
That was out.
Well,
That was better than you.
I know.
Okay.
It really was. But so that's a little bit about how our camp works, how we scaffold our instruction, and by the end, even if they're getting it over the net or not, they're having fun. So that's what we're all about.
All right, Cody, it's your turn.
All right.
Get your basketball.
All
Where
right,
is it?
we'll go get it. Here we go.
So Rachel, again, while we're waiting for Cody,
Sure.
because Cody's never ready for anything, the dates again, it starts June
23rd
23rd and
and then
30th.
and the 30th, and then July 7th and 14th. So it's
Okay.
4 Saturdays in a row. And then right after that, we don't have pamphlets ready yet, but there's going to be an adaptive Zumba clinic on the
great.
following, it's July 21st and 28th, I believe. So if you keep a lookout at the Parks and Rec office, we're gonna have one of those as well. I won't be leading it because I'm really bad at Zumba, but we found an instructor to
Oh, great.
organize that, so.
I'll have more information on that too, so if you want to give me a yell at 652-7220, I'll get some information. Well, Cody, why don't you get over here? I don't know, maybe show us a couple of different passes.
I can do that. Passing is a
You wanna
lot
do
easier
this
to
in
do.
a little triangle drill? What do you
All right.
think?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
All right, now the key when passing, just a couple fundamental basic steps, is you want to pretend the basketball has 2 ears and put both hands on both sides of the ear. And when you'll hear me speak about positive steps is when you're passing to one another, is you want to keep both hands on both ears, have your elbows out a little bit, and when you pass it to the person you're wanting to pass it to, is you want to take a positive step with your strong foot. So if you're
Okay.
right-handed, be your right foot.
Okay.
So if
You
I'm
wanna
going
do
to
a
pass
chest
it to
pass
John,
first?
I'm going to take a step and then pass and then get some backspin on the ball as I rotate my wrists. So I'm going to come and pass, and I follow through, and I hold my fingertips right to where I'm passing it at.
All right, you ready?
Ready?
Okay.
Yeah, positive step, good spin. Positive, good. It's basic chest pass. And then the other one we could do, and we can try a little bit, we're going to have to bounce a little bit harder, is just a simple bounce pass. It's the same format and same technique, and the only difference is you want to be able to bounce the ball a third of to where you're passing it. You don't want to bounce it halfway between you and the man, but just a third of the way. And it's the same thing. You're going to step, bounce to where you want it, and they should catch it right in their hands. And just catch it like that. It's a little hard, I'm sorry. There you go. And just step and bounce. And then that is the proper way to bounce a basketball and to pass a basketball.
Well, guys, come in here.
All right.
I want to thank Rachel.
Thank you so much.
Cody.
Thanks, John.
And until next month, whenever we host the Fairfield Today again, have a great start to your summer.
Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, and Lancaster Fairfield Community Action Recycling and Litter Prevention.